For 3 years, Kang Seo-jun has been impotent, a secret that could destroy his reputation as Seoul's most feared mafia boss. He's tried everything: doctors, therapists, medications. Nothing works. Then his housekeeper quits, and a beautiful black woman named Maria shows up as her replacement. The moment her hand accidentally brushes his during a simple exchange, Seo-jun feels something he hasn't felt in 3 years. His body responds. To her. Only her. Now he's obsessed with understanding why this woman, this stranger, has the power to heal what doctors couldn't fix. But Maria has secrets of her own, and falling for a mafia boss was never part of her plan. Before we begin, friends, please don't forget to like and subscribe. You're supporting us this way. And we also promise to bring you interesting and awesome stories to your screens every day. Kang Seo-jun stared at the ceiling of his bedroom, jaw clenched, fists tight with frustration. Nothing. Again. The woman beside him, beautiful, expensive, exactly his type 3 years ago, gathered her clothes with a tight smile that didn't hide her disappointment. "It's okay," she lied. "It happens." Seo-jun fumed. "Get out!" She didn't argue. Nobody argued with Kang Seo-jun. Not when he was the most powerful Korean mafia boss in Seoul. Not when one word from him could end careers, businesses, lives. The door closed softly behind her. Seo-jun sat up, running his hands through his hair. 3 years. 3 years of this humiliation. 3 years of his body refusing to cooperate, no matter what he tried. The accident had broken more than just his leg. A rival gang's attack. A car explosion. He'd survived. Barely. Spent 6 months in the hospital with a shattered femur, internal injuries, and burns that had required multiple surgeries. The physical wounds had healed, but something else had broken. Something the doctors couldn't fix. It's psychological, they'd said. Trauma response. PTSD. Your body is protecting itself from perceived threats by shutting down non-essential functions. Non-essential. As if his manhood, his ability to feel desire, to perform, to be a complete man, was non-essential. He'd tried everything. Western doctors, traditional Korean medicine, acupuncture, therapy. Medications that made him sick, but changed nothing. Nothing worked. And in his world, a world built on power, strength, dominance, this weakness was unacceptable. If his enemies knew, if anyone knew. A knock on his bedroom door interrupted his thoughts. "What?" he barked. His head of security, Min, entered cautiously. "Sir, Mrs. Park has resigned, effective immediately." Seo-jun's jaw tightened. Mrs. Park had been his housekeeper for 5 years. Efficient, discreet, invisible, exactly what he needed. Why? Her daughter is having a baby. She's moving to Busan to help. Fine. Find a replacement by tomorrow. Already handled, sir. The agency is sending someone this afternoon. Highly recommended. Background check cleared. I don't care about recommendations. I care about discretion. Understood, sir. After Min left, Seo-jun stood at the window of his penthouse, overlooking Seoul's glittering skyline. He had everything. Money. Power. Respect. Fear. Everything except the one thing that made him feel like a man. Maria Okafor adjusted her uniform nervously as she stood in the lobby of the most expensive building she'd ever entered. This job was supposed to be temporary, just until she saved enough money to finish her nursing degree. The agency had promised good pay, minimal interaction with the employer, straightforward housekeeping work. What they hadn't mentioned was that the employer was Kang Seo-jun. Even in Nigeria, before she'd moved to Seoul 2 years ago, she'd heard whispers about the Korean Mafia. And Kang Seo-jun's name came up frequently, always in hushed, fearful tones. You'll be fine, she whispered to herself in Igbo. Just clean, stay invisible, collect your pay. Simple. The elevator ride to the penthouse felt like it took forever. When the doors opened, a stern-looking man in a suit was waiting. Miss Okafor, I'm Jae-min, head of security. Follow me. He led her through the penthouse, enormous, modern, expensive, and somehow completely soulless. No personal photos, no warmth, just cold perfection. Mr. Kang values privacy and discretion above all else, Jae-min said. You will clean, cook if requested, and stay out of his way. You do not ask questions. You do not gossip. You do not touch anything that isn't related to your duties. Understood? Yes, sir. He's in his office. I'll introduce you. Maria's heart pounded as they approached a set of double doors. Jae-min knocked once, then entered. The office was massive, dark wood, leather furniture, floor-to-ceiling windows, and behind a huge desk sat. Maria's breath caught. Kang Seo-jun was the most beautiful man she'd ever seen. Early 30s, sharp features, intense dark eyes, perfectly styled black hair. He wore an expensive black suit that fit him like it was made for his body, which it probably was. But it was his eyes that caught her. Cold, distant, empty. The eyes of a man who'd forgotten how to feel. Sir, this is Maria Okafor, your new housekeeper. Seo-jun's gaze swept over her, assessing, clinical, completely disinterested. Fine. Show her what needs to be done. Yes, sir. Jae-min gestured for Maria to leave, but as she turned, she stumbled slightly, her foot catching on the edge of the expensive rug. She reached out instinctively, grabbing the edge of Seo-jun's desk to steady herself, and her hand landed directly on his. The effect was instantaneous. Seo-jun's entire body went rigid, his eyes widened, and for the first time in 3 years, he felt it. Heat, desire, his body responding like it hadn't since before the accident. Maria jerked her hand back immediately, her face flushing with embarrassment. I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't mean— Get out! His voice was rough, strained. I'm sorry. Now! Maria fled, Jae-min hurrying after her. The moment the door closed, Seo-jun looked down at his hand, at the spot where she'd touched him. His heart was racing. His skin felt like it was on fire, and his body, his traitorous, broken body, was responding in a way it hadn't in 3 years. What the hell? He whispered. For the next 3 days, Seo-jun watched Maria, not obviously, not creepily, but he was aware of her in a way he hadn't been aware of anyone in years. She was beautiful. He'd noticed that immediately. Rich, dark skin, natural black hair usually pulled back in a neat bun, warm brown eyes, and a curvy figure her modest uniform couldn't quite hide. But it was more than her looks. She moved through his penthouse like she belonged there, humming softly while she cleaned, cooking food that actually smelled good, not the bland, healthy meals his previous housekeeper had made, arranging flowers in vases he didn't know he had. She brought life into his cold, dead space. And every time she came near him, even if she was just walking past, his body reacted. It was driving him insane. On the 4th day, he decided to test his theory. He called her into his office. She came immediately, her expression polite but wary. Yes, Mr. Kang? I need you to organize these files. He gestured to a stack of papers on his desk. Alphabetically, by date. I don't care, just organize them. It was busy work, completely unnecessary. But it would require her to stand close to him. Maria moved to the desk, carefully picking up the files. She was nervous. He could see it in the way her hands trembled slightly. Sir, would you like me to— Just do it. She worked in silence, her presence making his skin prickle with awareness. She smelled like coconut and vanilla, natural. sweet. Nothing like the heavy perfumes the women he usually encountered wore. And his body. God, his body was responding. Just from her proximity. It wasn't enough. "Hand me that file," he said, pointing to one near her. She reached for it, and as she passed it to him, their fingers brushed. Electricity shot through him. His reaction was immediate and undeniable. Heat flooded his body. His pulse raced. And for the first time in 3 years, he felt completely, fully, overwhelmingly alive. Maria must have seen something in his expression because she stepped back quickly. "Is everything all right, sir?" "Fine, you can go." She left, and Seo-jun sat there, staring at his hands. It was her. Somehow, impossibly, it was her. Her touch. Her presence. Something about this woman specifically triggered a response his body had denied him for 3 years. He should have been relieved. Instead, he was terrified. Because this meant he needed her, and needing anyone was a weakness he couldn't afford. That night, Seo-jun called his private doctor. Dr. Lee had been treating him, or trying to, for 3 years. "I need you to explain something to me," Seo-jun said without preamble. "Is it possible for someone to respond to one specific person, but no one else?" Dr. Lee was quiet for a moment. "Sexually? Yes. It's unusual. But not impossible. Sometimes trauma creates very specific triggers. If your subconscious associates safety, comfort, or arousal with specific traits, a voice, a scent, a touch, then yes, your body might only respond to someone who embodies those traits. So I'm psychologically broken in a very specific way. You're healing. Your body is telling you it feels safe with this person. That's progress, Seo-jun. It's a liability. It's human." After hanging up, Seo-jun poured himself a drink and stared out at the Seoul skyline. He'd built his entire life on control, on never being vulnerable, on never needing anyone. And now his body, his traitorous, broken body, had decided it needed one specific woman. A woman he barely knew. A woman who worked for him. A woman who had no idea the power she held over him. He should fire her. Send her away. Find another solution. But even the thought of not seeing her again made something in his chest tighten painfully. He was screwed. 2 weeks into her employment, Maria was confused. Mr. Kang had always been intense, but lately he was different. He'd find reasons to call her into his office, ask her to hand him things, stand close while explaining tasks. His eyes would follow her when she worked. It should have been creepy. Instead, it felt charged, like the air before a storm. And she was responding to it, to him, which was ridiculous. He was her employer, a dangerous man, someone completely out of her league. But her body didn't care about logic. Every time their hands brushed, every time he looked at her with those intense dark eyes, her pulse raced. "You're being stupid." She muttered to herself while cooking dinner in his massive kitchen. "He's not interested in you. He probably doesn't even see you as a person." "Is that what you think?" Maria spun around, nearly dropping the wooden spoon she was holding. Seo-jun stood in the doorway of the kitchen, a place she'd never seen him before. He was wearing dark slacks and a white dress shirt, sleeves rolled up, tie gone. More casual than she'd ever seen him. And he was looking at her with an expression she couldn't read. "Mr. Kang, I didn't hear you come in. Dinner will be ready in 20 minutes. I need to talk to you." "Of course. Should I? Here's fine." He moved into the kitchen, and the space suddenly felt much smaller. Maria pressed herself against the counter, trying to maintain professional distance. "Have I done something wrong, sir?" "No." He was quiet for a moment, seeming to wrestle with something. "I need to tell you something. and I need you to listen without interrupting. Okay. 3 years ago, I was in an accident. I survived, but... He stopped, jaw tight. I sustained injuries that affected me in ways the doctors couldn't fix. Specifically, I became unable to function. Sexually. Maria's eyes widened, but she stayed quiet as requested. I tried everything. Every treatment. Every medication. Every therapy. Nothing worked. For 3 years, I've been... He paused, the admission clearly painful. Broken. Mr. Kang, let me finish. He took a step closer. Then you touched me that first day. Your hand on mine. And for the first time in 3 years, my body responded. I felt something. Maria's breath caught. At first, I thought it was a fluke. But it kept happening. Every time you're near me. Every time we touch. My body wakes up. Only with you. Only you. I don't understand. Neither do I. But my doctor says sometimes trauma creates specific triggers. That my subconscious associates you, specifically you, with safety. Arousal. Whatever the hell lets my body function again. He was so close now. Close enough that Maria could see the flecks of gold in his dark eyes. Close enough to feel the heat radiating from his body. I'm telling you this because I need you to understand something. You have power over me. Power I've never given anyone. Power that makes me vulnerable in ways that could get me killed in my world. Why are you telling me this? Because I'm tired of pretending I don't need you. Tired of finding excuses to touch you. Tired of wanting something I can't have. What do you want? His hand came up slowly, giving her time to pull away. When she didn't, he cupped her face, thumb brushing her cheek. The moment his skin touched hers, she felt it too. That electricity. That heat. I want you to help me, he said quietly. I want to understand why you specifically can heal what nothing else could. I want... He stopped, his control cracking. I want you. Maria should have been scared, should have stepped back, should have quit on the spot. Instead, she whispered, I want you too. The kiss was inevitable. Seo-jun's lips claimed hers with a hunger that made her knees weak. His hands pulled her closer, and Maria melted into him, her body responding to his touch with an intensity that shocked her. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Seo-jun rested his forehead against hers. Tell me to stop, he murmured. Tell me this is wrong, that you work for me, that we can't do this. I don't want you to stop. Good, because I don't think I could. That night changed everything. Seo-jun took Maria to his bedroom, the place he'd avoided bringing anyone for 3 years, out of shame and frustration. With her, there was no shame. I haven't done this in 3 years, he admitted, as they stood at the foot of his bed. I don't know if... What if it doesn't work? Then it doesn't work. Maria's voice was gentle. But I think it will. Don't you? He did. Already his body was responding to her in ways that felt miraculous. Just her presence, her scent, her touch. It was like he'd been dead, and she'd brought him back to life. If I do something wrong, he said quietly. If I hurt you, you won't. I might. I haven't been gentle in a long time. Then don't be gentle. Maria stepped closer, her hands moving to the buttons of his shirt. Just be real with me. That's all I want. What happened next was tender, intense, overwhelming. Seo-jun's body responded to Maria in ways he'd forgotten were possible. Every touch, every kiss, every intimate connection. It worked. All of it worked. For the first time in 3 years, he felt whole. When it was over, when they lay tangled in his sheets, Seo-jun pulled Maria against his chest and just held her. Thank you, he whispered, For what? For giving me back something I thought I'd lost forever. Maria turned to face him. What happens now? Now? He traced her face with gentle fingers. Now you stop being my housekeeper and start being mine. If you want that. Your girlfriend? My everything. He kissed her softly. I know it's fast. I know this is insane. But I can't let you go, Maria. You've healed something in me I didn't think could be fixed. Not just physically. You've made me feel again. Hope again. Want something beyond power and control. I barely know you. Then let me tell you everything. Let me show you who I am beneath all this. He gestured to the expensive bedroom. I want you to know the real me. And I want to know all of you. Over the next few weeks, that's exactly what happened. Seo-jun wasn't just physically healed. He was emotionally transforming. He smiled more, laughed occasionally, showed Maria parts of his life he'd kept hidden from everyone. He took her to his mother's grave and told her about the woman who'd taught him kindness before his father had beaten it out of him. He showed her the scar from the explosion and admitted he'd been afraid of dying, not because of death, but because he'd die alone and unmissed. He confessed his deepest fears, his regrets, the parts of his business he hated. And Maria told him about her life, too. About leaving Nigeria to pursue nursing. About the struggles of being an immigrant in Seoul. About her dreams and hopes and fears. They fell in love. Real, deep, complicated love. You've changed me, Seo-jun told her one night as they sat on his balcony overlooking Seoul. You've changed yourself. I just gave you permission to feel again. No. He pulled her into his lap. You gave me a reason to feel. Before you, I was just going through the motions. Now, I have something to live for beyond power. What's that? You. Us. The life we're building. Maria kissed him softly. I love you. I love you more than I thought possible. But happiness never lasts long in Seo-jun's world. 3 months into their relationship, his second-in-command, Park Min-ho, approached him privately. We need to talk about the woman. Her name is Maria. I don't care what her name is. She's a liability. Seo-jun's expression went cold. Explain. The other families have noticed. They know you're different, softer, distracted. They're starting to question your leadership. My leadership is fine. Is it? Because from where I stand, you've been so focused on your girlfriend that you've missed 3 important meetings, delayed 2 major decisions, and let the Lee family encroach on our territory in Gangnam. Seo-jun's jaw tightened. I'll handle the Lee family. When? After they've taken everything? Boss, you need to think clearly. This woman, she's making you weak. She's making me human. In our world, human gets you killed. Before Seo-jun could respond, his phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Beautiful girlfriend you have. Be a shame if something happened to her. The message included a photo. Maria. Leaving a grocery store that morning. Someone had been following her. Seo-jun's blood ran cold. Get out. Boss, get out. After Min-ho left, Seo-jun immediately called his security team. I want full protection on Maria. 24 hours. No exceptions. But it was too late. That evening, when Maria was supposed to come home from visiting a friend, she didn't show up. Seo-jun called her phone. No answer. He tracked her location. Her phone was at an abandoned warehouse in the industrial district. His heart stopped. Get every available man, he told Jae-min. Now, and bring weapons. If they've hurt her, we'll get her back, sir. They arrived at the warehouse 20 minutes later. Seo-jun went in first, gun drawn, ready to kill anyone who touched her. Inside, Maria was tied to a chair, bruised but alive. 3 men from the Lee family stood guard. The moment they saw Seo-jun, they raised their weapons. "One more step, and we kill her. You'll be dead before you pull the trigger." Seo-jun's voice was deadly calm. "Let her go. This is between me and your boss. She's innocent. Nobody's innocent in this world." The lead man smiled cruelly. "Your weakness for her is going to destroy you. We're just speeding up the process. Last chance. Let her go. Or what? You'll shoot us? Then she dies too. Are you really willing to risk that?" Seo-jun met Maria's eyes across the warehouse. She was terrified, but trying to be brave. "I love you," he mouthed silently. Then he made the hardest decision of his life. He lowered his gun. "Fine, you win. Let her go, and I'll give you whatever you want. Territory, money, everything." The Lee family men laughed. "See? Weak. Love makes you—" The shot came from behind them. Jae-min, who'd circled around while they were distracted, took out all 3 men with perfect precision. Seo-jun ran to Maria, cutting her ropes, checking her for injuries. "Are you okay? Did they hurt you?" "I'm okay," she sobbed. "I'm okay." He pulled her into his arms, holding her so tightly she could barely breathe. "I'm so sorry. This is my fault. I should have protected you better. You saved me. I put you in danger in the first place." He pulled back to look at her. "This is my world, Maria. This is what loving me means. Are you sure you want this?" Through her tears, she smiled. "Yes, I'm sure." Epilogue. The future. 21-23-30. 6 months later, Seo-jun made the biggest decision of his life. He stepped down as head of his organization. "You're sure about this?" Minho asked, now promoted to lead the family. "I'm sure. I've given enough years to this life. It's time for something different." "And the woman? She's worth all this?" Seo-jun smiled. "She's worth everything." He and Maria left Seoul, moving to a quiet coastal town where nobody knew his name or his reputation. Maria finished her nursing degree. Seo-jun invested his legitimate money in local businesses. They built a life that was quiet, simple, happy. 1 year after leaving Seoul, Seo-jun woke up to find Maria in the kitchen, humming while she made breakfast. He wrapped his arms around her from behind, kissing her neck. "Good morning." "Good morning." She leaned back against him. "I have news." "What kind of news?" She turned in his arms, smiling. "I'm pregnant." Seo-jun's world stopped, then restarted, brighter and more beautiful than before. "Really? Really? We're having a baby." He lifted her up, spinning her around as she laughed. "I love you. God, I love you so much. I love you too. My broken, healed, impossible man." As they stood in their small kitchen, holding each other, Seo-jun thought about the journey that had brought them here. He'd lost so much, his position, his power, his reputation, but he'd gained everything that mattered. Love, peace, a future worth living, all because one beautiful woman had touched him and reminded him what it meant to be human. The end. Final message. Sometimes healing comes from the most unexpected places. Sometimes the touch of one person can fix what medicine can't. And sometimes, the strongest thing a powerful man can do is admit he needs someone. If you enjoyed this story, friends, please like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.